On December 8th, Barry Odom was named the 38th head coach in the history of Purdue football. Barry comes to us after a very successful two-year stint at UNLV, where he won 19 games, including 10 true road games. He's also been a head coach at his alma mater, Missouri, and now he will try to bring the Boilermakers back to glory as we start the 2025 football season. Good evening, everybody. From walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union in West Lafayette, it is Purdue Football Live. We're going to be talking with the head coach over the next hour about what his plans are to get Purdue football back on top. You can also follow along. If you're listening to us on the statewide network, that's fantastic. You can also follow along on our social media sites. We are on Purdue Athletics Facebook, also Purdue Football Facebook site, the X sites of Purdue Athletics and Purdue Football, and we're on YouTube as well on the Purdue Sports site. We'll have the head coach right after this commercial break. You're listening to Purdue Football Live, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Here's a first look at Devin Mockabee, and Mockabee able to catch the corner with a stiff arm. Mockabee has the first down. It's 3 plays and 3 first downs for Purdue. And the Purdue Boilermakers with a 2-touchdown lead here, second quarter. It's a delay to Mockabee, and he's got all sorts of open field. Mockabee at the 25, plowing over defenders.
Devin Mockabee is the deep man. Straight up the gut.
Nice.
Mockabee to the edge. Look at Mockabee go! Pushed out of bounds at the 4. Miles Scott saves a touchdown, but the biggest play of the game for the Boilers.
Mockabee was on a mission there, man. You can see him on that inverted bone. You like that?
Second down at 7. Touchdown is needed for Purdue. Maccabee's got it down to the 2-yard line, and now the clock will stop.
Soft spot in the middle of this defense. You can run it on this.
They do. Mockabee reaches and scores. Touchdown, Purdue. Brown looking for Mockabee. Touchdown, Purdue. Inverted wishbone. Mockabee. This guy's the truth. Mockabee pushed out of bounds inside the 5.
2nd and 10. Mockabee remains the setback. Watch out. This kid has enormous talent. I mean, enormous talent. Is that not a Scottaboo-esque move?
Yeah.
The young man from Arizona State.
Ross 8 crowd loves it. Purdue knocking on the door, wanting to tie the game. A big pile-up down in the goal line. And it's still moving! I don't believe the whistle ever blew. Mockabee just kept moving and moving everyone.
Well, what's the word that Jason Simmons used to describe Devin Mockabee?
Purdue's first touch.
Welcome back to Purdue Football Live. We're live at walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. Purdue Football Live is presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union, the official credit union for Purdue fans. I know you all gave him a round of applause when he came in. How about another round of applause for our new head coach, Barry Odom? Barry, welcome.
Thank you. Honored and thrilled to be here. Man, what a great crowd tonight. I hope I had a chance to meet most of everyone in the crowd, but thank you for taking time on a Thursday night to come out and show the support. One thing my wife and kids and I have noticed, and we knew it before we got here, but the sincerity of the people, the openness, the warmth, the level of support for all things Purdue is unmatched, and we're thrilled as a family to be a part of that. We understand the responsibility that we have to be the head coach here and what we can get done together. And I've seen it in the sporting events I've had a chance to be at. We've had a chance to be in the community with a number of different things, and we're thrilled to be in West Lafayette. We're thrilled to be at Purdue University.
We talk about fits all the time, and I was kidding with you before. Even though West Lafayette is known as the Las Vegas of Indiana, there is a little bit of a cultural difference, I'm sure. But I have a feeling that West Lafayette, Indiana is a good fit for Barry Odom and vice versa.
Yeah, it feels like home. My wife is from the state of Missouri in the far northeast corner on the Mississippi River there close by, and I grew up in a small town in Oklahoma. We met at the University of Missouri years ago. So it feels like, we were there for almost 20 years. So this feels like home, in a lot of ways. And Vegas was wonderful. We had 2 really good years there. turned the program around, had a lot of success because of a number of people that were there with us. And Vegas was very good to our family. So thankful for that opportunity. And we traded palm trees of Vegas for the wonderful weather we're having right now
and pork tenderloins.
Really
you have
good.
pork tenderloins here.
I've had okay in the ranking. I've seen all these different, and I like to eat, so
yeah.
I've seen the rankings of the different pork tenderloins. I'm still searching for the best, but I've got my own ranking going, and I'm going to try them all.
I have a feeling now you're going to get a lot of calls and emails into your office about, hey, come here for the pork tenderloin. You're not going to have to pay for one for years. Before we talk football, a little bit about your family, just so people know. You're married with 3 kids, so
yep.
Give us a little bit about everybody in the family.
Yeah, so my wife, Tia, and I were married. We met our sophomore year in college, and we got married soon after. We got married in July of 2000. And then we've got 3 kids. We've got our son, JT, is a sophomore at UNLV. He played for me the last 2 years, played linebacker. He decided to stay in the school there, pursuing a business degree, and is well versed to all the things in Vegas and at UNLV, and we'll see where that goes. I think he's on a fast track to graduate early, and maybe we'll come back to this part of the country at some point. Our middle son, Garrett, is just enrolled at Purdue. 4 weeks ago now. He's a mid-year graduate. He's going to be on the team, plays quarterback. And then we have a daughter, Anna Lockwood, who is 9 years old in the 4th grade, and she runs the show.
Absolutely. I understand that. You had an opportunity, I'm sure, Barry, with your success at UNLV, with your resume, there are a lot of different places that you could have gone. Why Purdue?
Well, you look at, number one, you look at people. And for me, when this opportunity presented itself, timing is always hard. Everybody understands the timing. You don't control those things. So at the end of our season, in the position, when this job came open, and then there was a connection with the leadership team here, with our president, with Mung and with Mike, in the first phone call that we had, and there was a strong connection. Mm-hmm. And that's what, if we were going to leave UNLV, I wanted an opportunity where there was strong leadership, there was alignment, and there was vision for what the football program needed to be. About one of the initial phone calls that we had, was scheduled for a 30-minute introduction for both sides to get to know each other. And a little over 2 hours later, we hung up the phone. And I knew at that point that there was a sincerity, the things that they believed in, I believed in. I had seen Purdue over the years, and then, most recently when I was the head coach at Missouri, we played a night game here in 2018. So I saw the fans. I knew a little bit when I could think about what kind of program it was. I had some background knowledge of that. And then not too long ago, 3 seasons ago, you guys all remember, in the Big Ten Championship. So it wasn't that far removed from that. So I think, number one, in a long answer, it started with people. It started with connective piece of the recruiting area. If you draw a 6-hour radius around this place, you can be in a lot of good places. There's tremendous high school coaches in the state. There's great high school talent. So I look at that opportunity. Playing in the Big Ten Conference was another huge draw for me and for us. And then I think it fits culturally. It fits me, and it fits our family, and it fits how we're going to build it systematically in our foundation to go put a winning product in place and win quick.
We've got Barry Odom in the house, and we'll have more after this on Purdue Football Live, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
2nd down and 2. Dalton to keep again. Karlaftis is there. George Karlaftis, the freshman, who's had a fabulous start to his Purdue career.
That's a good point. He got the commitment as Karlaftis gets the sack back at the 14-yard line.
4-man rush. Clifford steps up in the pocket, tries to extend the play, and gets sacked. It's Karlaftis.
Morgan looking, stepping up, and goes down.
Running out of time and into the arms of George Karlaftis and Derek Barnes.
Shank now in the Wildcat.
Oh, the ball's out.
Ball is out. And it's recovered by Karlaftis.
Ramsey under pressure and sacked. George Karlaftis.
Rager at the top of the screen. Dalton deflected, intercepted by Karlaftis. Down at the TCU 21. 38 yards. That's a long kick.
Charlie Kuhmander, he got the legs. Let's see.
Oh, it's blocked. Purdue. Grimmel steps up. George Karlaftis wraps him up. And a 5-yard loss on the sack. 4th and a mile. And there's Karlaftis. 4 straight sacks. With a minute 32 to go until halftime. Petrus in trouble, and down he goes. A sack. George Karlaftis, there's number 5.
Deliver the football.
2nd and 18, trouble again. And it's Karlaftis with the sack at the 10-yard line of Petrus. Birds 5 of 5 passing it here. The ball's free. Karlaftis picks it up. He's got a lot of speed. And he takes it in. Touchdown.
Welcome back to Purdue Football Live. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat free on Tuesdays. Boilermakers, the 2025 football season is just around the corner. Be sure to renew your season tickets by March 1st or get on board with a season ticket deposit now. Got a great home schedule this fall, so make sure to activate your John Purdue Club membership to have access to all the best parking and tailgate spots around Ross-Ade. See you this fall. We are 205 days away, by the way, from opening day. I'm sure that Barry was well aware of that. You got here in December, and there's a lot of stuff happening. Barry, you got to get players in the portal. You've got to get high school players signed. You got to get a coaching staff. What was your order of business when you got here in December?
Yeah, I think you look at how fast time goes. We're searching for more hours in the day, but that's the way the game is. That's the way that college sport is. You know, everything is sped up to an extent with the recruiting calendar, and so we finished up our season. We played a Friday night game in our conference championship game, and then interviewed the following day, and then I think on Sunday. We arrived here Sunday night, I think. I'd always known if I had a chance to get another head coaching job, but keep lists of by coaches who you want to try to hire.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your offensive coordinator, who's your defensive coordinator. And so then you try to activate that as quickly as possible. But then the most important thing to me, once we got our feet on the ground here, was to get around the team. Most of the team had really already left because it was finals week,
right,
and some had already finished up. So we had a team meeting, and then I had individual meetings with everybody on the team that was still in town. And if I couldn't connect with them that way, we either did a Zoom or a phone call. And I wanted them all to stay. I also knew that there were 40-something in the transfer portal at that time. So you're trying to talk about the vision about what we were going to do together. Wanted all of them to stay, understanding that's a naive thought. That's not ever going to happen. Guys have already made decisions that they're going to leave or stay, whatever it was. And then you go to recruiting. So I think in order of getting here, meeting the current team, recruiting, building and putting a staff together, and then try to navigate through that. If the coach you were trying to get hired, if he was still playing, if there was a buyout in his contract, all the different things with that. But I think in short time, our staff, once we got everybody together, really in about 10 to 14 days, we signed 40 kids that ended up committing to come play here and be students at Purdue, which is an amazing number. 35 of those 40 were mid-year enrollees, mm-hmm. So they're going to go through spring, winter conditioning, spring ball with us, and then the other 5 that signed, they'll be here in late May and early June. And then there'll be a window of time after spring practice that the portal window opens again. So we'll probably lose some during that time, and most certainly we'll be very aggressive in adding to our roster. So, and then you want to meet all the people that you can that are players in the program, from donors to boosters to fans to the support system that makes Purdue what it is. So you know, I look at what we were able to do from the time we got here in December until we're sitting here today.
There you go.
I still feel like, you know, it's a sprint, but it's always going to feel that way. To get the program back where we're supposed to be and where it should be, there's a lot of work to do. I know exactly what I signed up for, and we're making great progress at a very high rate.
You announced the 40 players that are coming in yesterday, and 29 of those 40 players are portal, and that is college football in 2025. It's different than it was 10 years ago. It's different than it was 20 years ago. In the old days, 20 years ago or 10 years ago, you could build, and high school recruiting is still important, and we're going to talk about that. But how do you speed date on steroids in the portal? I mean, you can see kids on film against other D1 players. That's great. But you don't have a chance to talk to the janitors at their school, and you don't have a chance to really dive in very deeply to find out what kind of people they are.
Yeah, one thing with that, we're going to be a high school recruiting program, and I believe in that. I was a high school coach when I started coaching. I believe in the foundational approach on identifying talent, building relationships, getting the kids in the program and developing them to go win and compete in this conference. And then you look at in the situation in roster management is probably where I spend most of the time right now on if you have an older guy in the program leave, well, it's our charge as a staff that there's a replacement out there that we got to find somebody that's better. And that's the name of the game. You've got to go do that. And you can't just sign 50 freshmen because then your roster is out of whack.
Right.
So if we lose an older guy, we're going to replace him with an older guy. But all in the meantime, we're going to sign and be very aggressive in the high school recruiting because I think there's great talent in this area in the high school ranks. So you look at, you know, fit for your program culturally. You look at fit for the university. You look at fit schematically. And I think we did a really nice job, our staff did, on evaluating those guys. I brought in a number of guys that played for me last year at UNLV, and then I brought in a few more that I coached at Arkansas before I left there. And then I think the familiar background you have in recruiting, when it's done the right way, you may not get the kid initially. They may decide to go to another university, and maybe it doesn't work out for them, so you get them on the backside of that. So a number of those guys out of the 40, either I or somebody on our staff had a direct relationship with, either coached them before or recruited them before.
All right, back with more with Coach Odom in a couple of minutes. This is Purdue Football Live, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Situations. If you're in drop, it could be a long night from the mid-range.
And if turnovers like that happen into posters like that,
Good Painter does a great job at evaluating talent, but there's that long bomb thrown to Braden Smith.
Here he is. Caged by Leo, and he still knocks it down.
After a slow start for them, but they kind of figured it out. They have not done that yet this year.
Smith for two. That is so easy as he drifts.
He loves that shot. There's a trap from Ballo. Somebody's got to come and get it.
It's Harris. It's late, and it's good. 1 for 6 in the first half. Kaufman-Renn is fouled by Ballo. He gets 2. He sized him up the whole way.
Well, how about Kaufman-Renn with the counter? He still shoots it with his right hand, but Ballo knows Kaufman-Renn wants to get to his right jump hook. That's on the right shoulder, but it's enough of a counter for Kaufman-Renn.
Renew came out of the locker room and was kind of exhorting the crowd, and they're into it. Braden Smith changing tempos to score.
The stop and start is so hard to guard.
10 to shoot for Braden Smith. Smith wants Lawyer to take it. He will.
Indiana's just got to communicate that out.
Smith, everybody left him. He's in a standstill.
He saw that Ballo's guarding him and taking that one.
Instead, it leads to Smith for the tie. It's good. And a 2.5 away from a possible season-altering win. Lawyer, 2.5 defenders on him. They force him to give it up. Kaufman-Renn, another lead team. Purdue by 1. They'll play it out. Rice hasn't scored. Lost the ball. Kaufman-Renn ends up.
Start with.
Purdue football is presented by Purdue Global. Earn a degree you'll be proud of with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults and the preferred online university degree provider of the Guild and Team USA Learning Network. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. Don't forget, we'll have Purdue basketball live on Monday at 6:30, and the Boilermaker men tomorrow night taking on USC. That one will start at 7 o'clock. You had a chance to take in the Indiana game and the atmosphere that I think helped maybe steer a couple of guys our way.
It's unbelievable and unmatched, in my opinion, and that is the Purdue way. We were the previous 2 weekends we've had prospect recruiting days, and then we combined one, on the Friday night game that we had here in Mackey, and we had 10 prospects here that we think high-level guys and recruits, and certainly they could see the passion and the energy of the fans and how important that is when they can you can talk about it in recruiting and over the phone and show them pictures, but then when they see it through their own lens and they're able to feel that when you're walking into the arena, what a great opportunity for us to have guys on campus.
You were talking in the last segment about roster management, roster construction, and there will be new rules going into place. Now, we think the House settlement's not completely done, but we're hoping that it's going to turn out the way that everybody hopes it turns out. It used to be you could have unlimited numbers on your team, but you only had 85 scholarships. Now it's 105 players on your roster, and it's up to the schools and the conferences then to decide how many of those are on scholarship.
Yeah, you look at, the number of different ways to slice it and dice it, and the one thing I think is a great equalizer, everybody in college football is now going to have 105.
Right.
That is their roster limit. You're not, competing against somebody that's got 175 guys on their team and in their locker room. And you look at the way the practice structure goes with that many people, competitively, that gives you a little bit of an advantage, in my opinion. So now for everybody is at 105, and you better be on top of your game on how you construct your roster, on what that looks like. Fortunately for us, we were able the last couple of years, our limit at the previous place that I was 108. So I've got a really good feel for by position how many you need at each position.
Right.
Now, there's a number of things that go into that. Can you stay healthy? All the different things that go into that part. But it'll be interesting to see how different schools use that number. I feel like we've got a great approach on what we're going to do. It comes with tremendous support from our athletics director and his vision, and we're excited about how we're going to build this team.
You mentioned yesterday during your press conference you would like to get to the point where you can run practices a certain way in the spring, but you're a couple of bodies short maybe on the offensive line, defensive backfield. I assume that's something, I don't know if it'll get fixed before the spring practice, but certainly by the fall.
We're working to get it fixed before spring. So, we really, to get that done, we need 3 more offensive linemen that are already in school here that could come out and walk on and earn an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And just from, I've been in it long enough to know if you get an ankle sprain in the defensive backfield, how many numbers we need there. So we're going to add a couple more there, and we're aggressively looking to see what that looks like, and I'm hopeful we get there because we need those numbers to be able to practice the way that I think we really need to move this program forward. So we'll get there. It's it's easy to say those things and want them, and then you got to go make it work. So I may be up and down the hallway here looking for a couple.
I was going to say, if we have any students who are walking by or listening, if you're big or you're fast, Coach Odom will be here till at least 7 o'clock. So come on and bring your resume with you.
Big and fast is even a better combination.
Big and fast. So, I like that even more. All right, we're going to have more with the coach after this. This is Purdue Football Live, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Play as hard as you can with the same amount of joy and passion we had the other day, all right? These people are going to watch you. Put on the show and enjoy every single second of it, all right? Let's go.
McCarthy with 2, and there's Sophie Swanson drilling a 15-footer from the left side. Swanson, and here come the Boilermakers into the front court. Purdue with a 5-point lead. Swanson, quick 3, yes! Sophie in transition with the triple.
We've got to have a little bit more composure about what we're doing. Get the ball moving from side to side, and then you get open shots. We've got to be there for each other. Come on.
Here we go, guys. First 5 minutes.
Here we go. 20 minutes. Go get it. Let's go.
Back to Ella Collier for 3. Got it! Spurrier still with the dribble. Spurrier jump hook on the way. Got it.
Spurrier is not intimidated by Sarah Williams.
Pass in the post against McCray. Pass goes up with a left-hand runner and scores. Misses the layup attempt. LaShonda Jones with the rebound. Purdue's got to try to run it here. Jones down the middle, almost lost the dribble. Right side, Collier for three. Got it. Ella Collier with the big triple.
That's why she was brought here.
Collier open three up. Yes!
Oh,
Ella Collier with the triple. Here's Collier driving. Nice pocket pass to Spurrier, and she made the layup. And one.
What a great pass by Collier.
And that will do it. And the Purdue Boilermakers have snapped a 9-game losing streak, and they beat the Wisconsin Badgers 84-71.
Talk about it, right? Just staying through it, right? Looking adversity in the eye, staring straight at it, not running away from it, not hiding from it, but running right towards it. And you've earned it, right? Like you played well on Thursday. You played well today. You stayed connected. You stayed together. They cut it to one, and you were right there with it the whole time. Enjoy it. You've earned it. Enjoy it. You've earned it. I'm proud of you.
Good job, Good job. We're gonna sit together, y'all.
Family on three. 1, 2, 3.
Family.
Play as hard as you can with the same amount of joy and passion you had the other day, all right? These people are going to watch you. Put on the show, enjoy every single second of it, all right? Let's go.
McCarthy with two, and there's Sophie Swanson drilling a 50-footer from the left side. Swanson, and here come the Boilermakers into the front court. Purdue with a 5-point lead. Swanson, quick three, yes! Sophie in transition with the triple.
We've got to have a little bit more composure about what we're doing. Get the ball moving from side to side, and then you get open shots. We've got to be there for each other. Come on.
Here we go, Wyatt. First 5 minutes.
Here we go. 20 minutes. Go get it. Let's go.
Back to Ella Collier for three. Got it! Spurrier still with the dribble. Spurrier jump hook on the way. Got it!
Spurrier is not intimidated by Sarah Williams.
Pass in the post against McCray. Pass goes up with a left-hand runner and scores. Misses the layup attempt. LaShonda Jones with the rebound. Purdue's got to try to run it here. Jones down the middle, almost lost the dribble. Right side, Collier for three. Got it! Ella Collier with the big triple.
That's why she was brought here.
Collier open three up. Yes! Ella Collier with the triple. Here's Collier driving. Nice pocket pass. It's time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler-made. How would it be to be George Karlaftis, who will turn 24 years old in April and is playing in his third straight Super Bowl this Sunday? And when the lights have been on the brightest, George has played at his best. In the last 6 playoff games, he's had 31 quarterback pressures. And his participation Sunday means that we'll have at least one Purdue player now participating in 25 of the last 26 Super Bowls. I don't know if we can get another year out of George. Man, he was really good. Really good.
What a stat that is. I mean, to be able to step in to not only be a great player like he is, but then in the Chiefs organization, who right now is setting the standard on what it looks like. We're certainly excited for him and sure hope that he gets another ring. What a great honor.
We haven't talked about many individual players yet at all. In fact, he was from West Lafayette High School. I want to talk about Mo Omonade, who's also from West Lafayette High School. Played on the defensive line for the last couple of years, has been battling injuries, but I think you're really going to rely on some of these guys that have been here through the hard times, Barry, and the new guys that you're bringing in from UNLV that can bring that winning principle with them. But talk about the importance of having some of these guys that have been through the tough times.
Well, it's so important. You look at experience. You know, we all learn from our experiences, good and bad. And Mo certainly has played a lot of snaps. We understand how important it is defensively to be good on the defensive line and the front seven. And we're going to need a number of guys. He's certainly one of them. That we're counting on. Needs to have a great spring, great offseason, get in position to go play well. And you know, the thing that we are going to always try to do, we've got to be able to run the football and on the line of scrimmage, and then on the other side you've got to be able to stop the run. And easier said than done on both sides, but if you've got a really strong front seven defensively, schematically you can do a number of things and find a way to get an extra hat. But if you've got an elite defensive line, then it makes things a lot easier, and we need Mo to keep coming and have a great year for us.
Speaking of running the football, great to see Devin Maccabee back from Boonville High School down in the southern part of the state. Very popular player. You mentioned you got to be able to run the football, and he's shown some tremendous ability in his time here.
Yeah, he's got good toughness. I watch him work out in the mornings, and you can tell he's got leadership qualities and skills. And we're so excited to get, at this time of year, it's weight room and speed and quickness development. And then here in the next few days, we'll start getting into blending in some football side of that in meetings, and then some drill instruction on what you can do this time of year. And then to be able to see and design plays to get them involved in the offense, he's certainly got a skill set that we're excited to work with. You mentioned the strength and conditioning. You kept one of the guys that was here a while back, and talk about what strides are being made right now in that area. Well, I think, the winning teams, they're built, it's a 12-month plan. It's not just, from the time you show up in August to through December, the bowl game, but these months from January, February, March, before you start with spring ball, how important they are for the physical development of your team. We've got a long ways to go in that area. And that's not an excuse. It's just we got to go to work. And there's a foundation and a formula to do that. We're right on track on where we need to be. And then you look at the course of the season, you've got to get your body in position to go compete really for 15 weeks. You got 12 weeks, you got 2 bye weeks in there, and then you get championship weekend, and then whatever happens from there. So, we're trying to build this team physically and mentally for the long haul, for what that looks like, consistency on how it takes, a team to go compete and play meaningful games in November. I always talk about that our habits that we have today are going to be exposed on game day. They always are, and it doesn't matter. It's a 12-month plan, and if you ever cheat the process, then that will show up on game day. So we understand, what the standard is, what the expectation is, and we're right in the thick of it. All right, time is flying by. We're going to have more with Coach Odom after this. It is Purdue Football Live, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union and the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Here's a first look at Devin Maccabee, and Maccabee able to catch the corner with a stiff arm. Maccabee has the first down. It's 3 plays and 3 first downs for Purdue. And the Purdue Boilermakers with a 2-touchdown lead here, second quarter. It's a delay to Maccabee, and he's got all sorts of open field. Maccabee at the 25, plowing over defenders.
Devin Maccabee is the deep man. Straight up the gut.
Nice.
Maccabee to the edge. Look at Maccabee go. Pushed out of bounds at the 4. Miles Scott saves a touchdown, but the biggest play of the game for the Boilers.
Maccabee was on a mission there, man. You can see him on that inverted bone. You like that?
Second down at 7. Touchdown is needed for Purdue. Maccabee's got it down to the 2-yard line, and now the clock will stop.
Soft spot in the middle of this defense. You can run it on this.
They do. Maccabee reaches and scores. Touchdown, Purdue. Brown looking for Maccabee. Touchdown, Purdue. Inverted wishbone. Maccabee. This guy's the truth. Maccabee pushed out of bounds inside the 5.
2nd and 10. Maccabee remains the setback. Watch out. This kid has enormous talent. I mean, enormous talent. Is that not a Scottaboo-esque move?
Yeah.
The young man from Arizona State.
Ross 8 crowd loves it. Purdue knocking on the door, wanting to tie the game. A big pile-up down in the goal line. And it's still moving! I don't believe the whistle ever blew. Maccabee just kept moving and moving everyone.
Well, what's the word that Jason Simmons used to describe Devin Maccabee?
Purdue's first touchdown of the night.
Well, welcome back to Purdue Football Live. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. Purdue Athletics would like to thank and recognize members of the Black and Gold Club who support Purdue Athletics through their sponsorship at the highest level. Black and Gold Club members include Indiana Packers, Molson Coors, Purdue Federal Credit Union, Purdue Global, State Farm Insurance, Toyota, and Wabash. Each are great partners of Purdue Athletics. Joined tonight by Barry Odom. We've gone almost 40 minutes now on a Purdue football show and not talk quarterbacks, which is a new track record. So let's talk quarterbacks. You've got 4 that you brought in. Give us a little synopsis on each of them.
Well, you look at how important that position is. I think it's the most important position in all of sport. And when you have one that plays effectively, delivers the ball, is efficient, makes great decisions, commands leadership, extends drives, and scores points, then you've got a chance in every game.
Yep.
And if you don't have a quarterback that plays at a high level, then it's going to be a lot more difficult. So, I mean, that's a very general statement. I do believe that we'll have great competition this spring. We've got to get in a position that everybody on our roster, that we get them in position to play winning football, and it starts with the quarterback on offense. And they don't have to go win the game by themselves, but they've got to be really smart with the football. They've got to understand if it's 2nd down and 7 and there's nothing there, okay, let's just go live to play another play.
Right.
Okay, get rid of the ball, get what we can get, line up, and go effectively go run 3rd down or 4th down, whatever it is. So I think, Coach Henson offensively as the coordinator has been around a lot of great quarterbacks in his time. Coach Darren Henshaw, who's coaching our quarterbacks, he's been around and coached a number of great ones. We will have a quarterback ready to go play winning football. And what is that going to look like? I think all of the quarterbacks we have on our roster are a little bit unique on their skill set, but all have the ability to be a dual threat. We've got to be, I said early on, we've got to be able to run the ball. That's quarterback run game involved with that. As soon as you can establish the run game, then that opens everything up in the RPO world, in the vertical passing game. So we've got a lot of work to do there to train those quarterbacks to play within the system, but also find ways to utilize their skill sets. We're really excited about what that's going to look like this spring. And, it's another reason that we've got to practice so well and get the guys in position to do that, because we need everybody to get equal reps. And as soon as we get the roster built the way it needs to be, we'll function at a high level.
Would you anticipate at this point, Barry, that quarterback battle will go into the fall? Would you like to leave the spring with a clear-cut number 1?
Well,
in a perfect world.
Yeah, in a perfect world, we'd know who it is right now. He threw for 5,000 yards last year and won 15 games, but we're not there yet.
I think if they do this 5-year thing, Mark Herman might have another year. Right. You can take him down from the booth.
I called Drew Brees the first day I was on the job, see if we get another year out of him. I think you look at the perfect world, absolutely we would know after 15 practices. Reality of what that looks like, I don't know. I will not rush that decision. Yeah. That's not fair to the guys competing for the job. It's not fair to your team. But what is fair is give them equal opportunity to go play and go compete, see how the offense orchestrates with them under center.
And you also have another door open. Now, we talked about the fact there is a late spring portal. Now, you'd love your quarterback to go through spring practice, but if a guy comes available that can really help your football team, that's another option for you.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if we took another quarterback. I think we have winners on campus. There's other positions that we'll use those numbers for, but I'm excited to see them go compete. Watching them in the weight room every single day and their leadership skills kind of taking over. I've met with all of them and talked about there's a couple people that can't have bad days, the head coach and the starting quarterback, and it's not allowed. So we'll get the right guy in the right spot, and it's going to be a fun competition.
All right, we'll have more with Coach Odom after this. This is Purdue Football Live, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
2nd down and 2. Dalton to keep again. And Karlaftis is there. George Karlaftis, the freshman, who's had a fabulous start to his Purdue career.
That's a good point. They got the commitment as Karlaftis gets the sack back at the 14-yard line.
4-man rush. Clifford steps up in the pocket, tries to extend the play, and gets sacked. It's Karlaftis.
Morgan looking, stepping up, and goes down.
Run him out of time and into the arms of George Karlaftis and Derek Barnes.
Shank now in the Wildcat.
The ball is out. And it's recovered by Karlaftis.
Ramsey under pressure and sacked. George Karlaftis.
Rager at the top of the screen. Dalton deflected, intercepted by Karlaftis. Down at the TCU 21.
38 yards. That's a long kick.
Try to Kumander. He got the legs. Let's see.
Oh, it's blocked.
Purdue. Grimmel steps up. George Karlaftis wraps him up. And a 5-yard loss on the sack.
4th and a mile. And there's Karlaftis. 4 straight sacks.
With a minute 32 to go until halftime. Petrus in trouble, and down he goes. A sack. George Karlaftis, there's number 5. Deliver the football. 2nd and 18. Trouble again. And it's Karlaftis with the sack at the 10-yard line of Petrus. Birds 5 of 5 passing it here. The ball's free. Karlaftis picks it up. He's got a lot of speed. And he takes it in. Touchdown.
Live is presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union, the official credit union for Purdue fans. Don't forget the 2025 football season is just around the corner. Be sure to renew your season tickets by March 1st or get on board with a season ticket deposit now. We've got a great home schedule this fall, so make sure to activate your John Purdue Club membership to have access to all the best parking and tailgate spots around Ross-Ade. See you this fall, and what a schedule it is, Barry. You got Ball State, Southern Illinois, USC making its first ever appearance at Ross-Ade Stadium, Illinois in the battle for the Cannon Trophy, Rutgers, the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Indiana Hoosiers. 7 good reasons to come out to Ross-Ade and watch the Boilermakers win.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned earlier, 205 days, it'll be here before we know it. So, you know, there's a number of walls we want to break down, and that's playing great at home, and it's going to start with us preparing the right way, getting ready to go play at a high level, and then we want to turn Ross-Ade into the greatest home field advantage that a team can have, to make people fear coming in to play us, not only because we're a really good football team, but our fans make it a nightmare situation for them, and I've seen it over the years. You know, I can remember watching games at night when the Boilermakers are rolling, and you know, and personally saw it firsthand, and when I brought a team in here in 18. So excited about that, excited about the opportunities, and understand that the building process, we're going to get ready to go play winning ball. The
first step of that, along with the off-season conditioning and weight training, is spring practice, which will start in March. You announced earlier this week, spring game will be April 12th at noon at Ross-Ade Stadium. It'll be free. What do you need to accomplish in these spring practices heading into that big game?
Yeah, I think you look at this, the continual development. So from practice 1 to 2, we've got to get a lot better. 2 to 3 on down the road, and then by 15, hopefully we're playing our best ball. And with the guys there, we got to develop depth. You got to understand, you know, we're going to set a lot of goals for ourselves, you know, individual goals for each position group, and then, you know, what we need to do to get those done, on what that looks like, on systematically just continuing to pour into the process of playing winning football. We got to be elite on special teams, and the amount of reps that we will get in our special teams play throughout spring ball will put us in position to be a really good special teams unit, and then offensively and defensively, how we establish our identity on both sides of the ball.
We've talked a little bit about players and coaches, but as you know, in college football now, the administration is very important, and the general manager position has become a more and more important thing. Brandon Lee is joining this staff. What does he bring, and what do you need to see from that position to help this program win?
Yeah, I think it's the world of college sport and football for us is, you know, it's ever-changing. And as we mentioned, roster management earlier on, you know, Brandon was a guy that he's from Indianapolis originally. I recruited him. He played linebacker for me at Missouri, so I've known him for a number of years. And then there's another guy that was with me at UNLV. Prior to that was with me at Arkansas, a guy named Ethan Baxter. So those two guys together, you know, they assist in the day-to-day recruiting, the roster management piece, the identification of talent, a number of those things that are so important. And they're on the cutting edge of what we need to get done in that department. So thankful for all the support staff we have. You look at the recruiting department and the operations and strength and conditioning and food and nutrition, everything, video operations, it's all got to be aligned. And when you put all those people together and there is alignment and there is a vision, then the thing takes off really quickly. So that's what we're working for it every day. And you know, Brandon and Ethan together in the general manager role, they make a job that's not very easy, they lighten the load in a great way in that world.
Well, the advantage you have too, Barry, having been a head coach now at a couple of different places, you know that time management is one of the most important things that you have to do, because you've got to do things like this. You've got to deal with the media. You've got to deal with other things. You have to have those people behind you who can get those details done.
Yeah, you look, and we all learn from our mistakes and experiences and great things. And I'm a heck of a lot better head coach right now than I was last year at this time. And then so much better than I was when I got the job at Missouri at the age of 38 or whatever it was. They're you learn through going through things, and you learn through your experiences. And they don't give you a manual and say, hey, here's the head coaching manual. When you've got this problem, the answer's on page 7. Yeah. Those don't exist. There's no I would never trade the experience of sitting in the chair on what it takes to be the CEO of an organization like we have here.
All right, we've got one more segment coming. It's Purdue Football Live, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Situations. If you're in drop, it could be a long night from the mid-range.
And if turnovers like that happen into posters like that,
good. Painter does a great job at evaluating talent, but there's that long bomb thrown to Braden Smith.
Here he is. Caged by Leo, and he still knocks it down.
After a slow start for them, but they kind of figured it out. They have not done that yet this year.
Smith for 2. That is so easy as he drifts.
He loves that shot. There's a trap from Ballo. Somebody's got to come and get it.
It's Harris. It's late, and it's good. They get 1 for 6 in the first half. Kaufman-Wren is fouled by Ballo. He gets 2. He sized him up the whole way.
Well, how about Kaufman-Wren with the counter? He still shoots it with his right hand, but Ballo knows Kaufman-Wren wants to get to his right jump hook. That's on the right shoulder, but it's enough of a counter for Kaufman-Wren.
Renew came out of the locker room and was kind of exhorting the crowd, and they're into it. Braden Smith changing tempos to score.
The stop and start is so hard to guard.
10 to shoot for Braden Smith. Smith wants Langer to take it. He will.
Indiana's just got to communicate that out.
Smith, everybody left him. He's in a standstill.
He saw that Ballo's guarding him and taking that one.
Instead, it leads to Smith for the tie. It's good. And a 2.5 away from a possible season-altering win. Lawyer, 2.5. Defenders on him. They force him to give it up. Kaufman-Wren. Another lead change. Purdue by 1. They'll play it out. Rice hasn't scored. Lost the ball. Kaufman-Wren ends up.
We'll start with the bucket. Indiana does a good job here of pushing Kaufman-Wren out.
Proud of with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults and the preferred online university degree provider of the Guild and Team USA Learning Network. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. Talking with head coach Barry Odom. We haven't really talked, and we don't have time specifically to go down the roster of your 10 assistant coaches, but what qualities, Barry, when you put that staff together, were you looking for? You mentioned a lot of these guys were guys that you had on the list, but what brought them to the top of the list?
Well, I think number one, their background, their teaching ability, the programs they've been in, the ability that they've shown to lead a side of the ball or position group to great success, winning background, great men, number one, with character. And there were so many people and coaches that reached out to me wanting to be here. And I think the people of Purdue should know that is there's a lot of people wanted this job. And offensive coordinator Josh Henson was at Southern Cal. He and I worked together at Missouri years ago. Mike Shear was with me at UNLV, the defensive coordinator. I coached and recruited him as a player, and then he worked for me for a number of years. James Shebist, special teams coordinator, I think is the best special teams coordinator in all of football. And then you go around the room, and I've got a familiar background with all of them, and excited about what this group has done and what they will do.
We haven't really talked a lot about style. You mentioned you want to run the football, and that also includes the quarterback. But if you were going to describe your offensive and defensive styles that you'd like to see, what can fans expect in 2025?
Offensively, we're going to be very aggressive, in the run game and in the throw game. We're going to be unique in some of the things we do schematically. We've got to be able to score points at the end of the day. And, it sets up by running the ball, but we'll be dynamic in the pass game. And then defensively, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to play a lot of different things on the back end, from man coverages to some match zone concepts. We'll base out of a 4 and 3 down front, odd and even. And then more than anything, I hope that sooner than later the brand of hard, smart, and tough will show up in all 3 phases. And then special teams, we've had return games. Last year, our teams, the last 2 years, were #1 in the country in average starting field position when you combine offense and defense together, set up through special teams. We got to be elite in the return game. We got to be aggressive and then make big-time plays in the kicking game.
We've mentioned that you've been on this job now a little bit less than 2 months. Has anything surprised you? Anything about Purdue or about the people that you've met that you didn't expect?
No, I think it has confirmed what I would hope would be here. I mean, tremendous support, that's unbelievable from our administration. You look at fan support on what I've seen, absolutely off the charts. You look at the high school recruiting and the high school coaches that I've had a chance to interact with, they've been tremendous. And then the welcoming of the community to our family has been better than I could ever ask for.
It's obvious, Barry, sitting next to you here for this last hour and watching you, you're a guy that has an idea what he wants to do, has done it before, and I have a feeling you're going to do it again here in West Lafayette. We're really thrilled to have you on board here at Purdue University.
I'm honored to be the head coach at Purdue University. I feel the sincere responsibility to get Purdue back into the winning ways, to win and compete for championships, to play meaningful games in November and beyond. And I'm not a guy to make a whole bunch of bold statements, but I'm excited about the progress we're going to make. It's going to be exciting and a fun 2025, and we're honored and thrilled to have the chance to lead this program.
All right, 65 days until the spring game, 205 days until the opener. It's August 30th against the Ball State Cardinals. Barry, again, welcome to West Lafayette, and we're looking forward to working with you for a long, long time and looking at a lot of victories.
Thank you, guys. Boiler up.
All right. I want to thank everybody involved with the show tonight, our engineer, Wes Scott, our producers, Hunter Stunkel and Connor Bonchansky. Also, our video by McCarty Cummings. Don't forget Boilermaker basketball back on the air tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. The tip-off against the USC Trojans. We'll have that broadcast with Rob Blackman and Bobby Riddell starting at 6, and then Purdue basketball live right back here at Walk-Ons next Monday at 6:30. For the head coach, I'm Tim Newton. Thank you for tuning in tonight. This has been Purdue Football Live on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.